This is the story about how I got $25,000 worth of camera gear stolen and got it back thanks to a couple of more recent amazing bits of technology. Now, for those of you new to the channel, I am a professional photographer. I've done this for a living almost my entire adult life. And I was on a trip with my family through Scandinavia. We were almost done with the entire trip. And this is my travel camera bag. I can fit lots of things in a small package where I'm able to easily carry it around. It's by my friends at Clever Supply Co. And in that bag, I had the Sony A9 III and the Hasselblad 907X with the CFV 100C back on it. I also had my Leica 50mm Summilux in there because I had been adapting it to the Hasselblad. And so between all those things, $25,000 worth of gear. And I know a lot of you are immediately going to say, that's a crazy amount of gear. You shouldn't be carrying that much stuff. But I do this for a living. I carry significantly more money in gear than that when I'm going to photograph weddings or events or anything like that. So it just doesn't affect me in the same way that it does for other people. So I don't have that same, like, I can't believe you're holding that much money kind of thing because they're tools for me. Now, I'd been carrying this bag almost every day with a combination of relatively expensive cameras in it for like 3 weeks straight. Never took it off. I would leave with the bag on me and come back with the bag on me. But my wife and I also have 2 young kids. And sometimes that kind of makes things a little bit different in some circumstances that you normally wouldn't do. We rented some bikes because we were in Copenhagen and we were riding around the city. I had to run back really quick to the apartment because the kids had to use the restroom. So we took the bikes. My wife tossed me the keys to all the locks. But as I was going down to lock all the bikes up and everything, like the bag kept getting in the way. And so as the kids are getting out and stuff, I take the bag off. I stick it in the front big cargo section of the bike. I have to pee too. So I lock the bikes up. I run into the apartment. And then as we're kind of like decompressing from all of that kind of stuff, I'm sitting around, and about maybe 20 minutes later or so, I think, where's my camera bag? Did I leave it? I didn't leave it on the bike, did I? So, of course, I run out. I can kind of pop my head out the window to see where the bikes are. Bag's not there. Run into the bedroom, it's not there. Into the bathroom, it's not there. It's not where I charge all my things. It's just nowhere. And then I think, oh yeah, I recently did a viral video where I talked about having this base plate here that has an AirTag built into it. That video has over 1 million plays on Instagram. And so I put AirTags in all my stuff anyway. So there was an AirTag in the bag. There's also an AirTag in the camera itself. So I just think, cool, no big deal. I'm gonna grab it and I can ping it if it's in the apartment. And if not, then I can have a panic attack. So I go to the phone, try to see, and it says last seen 23 minutes ago. And then I started to really kind of realize the gravity of the situation going, shoot, I actually don't have this. I haven't seen it. And I looked around the apartment a bunch of times, kind of looked around the area, and realized it's legitimately gone. And maybe about 10 or so, maybe 10, 15 minutes passed as I'm trying to like make it show up on my phone again. It's not showing up. It's just kind of saying that it is at the corner, maybe like, 30 feet away from the apartment. And it just wasn't showing up on my phone. And I was just thinking, this is bonkers. Like, it should work. I can like track things no problem. I can see where my luggage is in relation to where I am at the airport. So it didn't make any sense to me that I wasn't getting just like live updates from this thing. So after having like a full like face in hands moment of like realizing my stuff's actually gone, I just thought, maybe this can't be right. So I run over to my computer, I pull up the like Find My app on there, and instantly it just goes and shows that it is about 2 or so miles away. So I run to the back door, tell my wife and kids, like, I think I might have found it. I'm leaving immediately. And I tell them that I can't pull it up on my phone, but on my computer, like, if you want to see where this thing's at, let me know, because maybe you can track it if it keeps moving and you can let me know where it's at. But as of right there, I was sprinting to the metro station to jump on and go a few stops and actually try to just find this thing, because it seemed like it was out relatively in the open. It had moved a few places, so I didn't think it was in an apartment or anything like like that. And as I'm running out the apartment, for whatever reason, I thought, I'm just going to grab these Ray-Ban glasses. And if you are familiar with them, these are the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses that have a camera inside of the glasses where you can record photos or video. If you want to learn more about that, I did a full video just kind of talking about these up there. Now, also as a disclaimer, I'm going to tell you why I felt safe doing this, but I absolutely cannot say that I should recommend that if you find your stolen objects out in public, that I can recommend to anybody at all that they go and actually try to confront people or try to track it down. I just felt like at the time, like I probably had an hour at tops, like if I was lucky. It was also broad daylight, and the last two places that it had pinged were both like very active, like just in the middle of lots of people. I'm like over 6 feet tall, not a small person, large bearded man, middle of the day, all those kind of things. But again, I don't want to just say blanket like, hey, stick this on your camera, and if it gets stolen, go track the people down, because that could be incredibly dangerous. But all that being said, I jump in the metro. I'm going, I think 2 stops, so it wasn't super far. And then I get out, and then my phone, and I brought my iPad, and they slowly start pinging, and I can see that it is really, really close to where the metro station is. And I'm just kind of like looking around. I'm trying to see like, does this person have it? Does this person have it? Because it's not like it just tracks you and just like moves exactly with you. It kind of pings every once in a while, so the thing will move ever so slightly around. So I'm looking around, trying to see kind of what's going on. You know, is there anybody that looks suspicious? I initially start to kind of like suspect this one person, because it says it pings like right as this guy with a backpack has a camera, and he's like, just kind of like, it would make sense that someone would recognize a camera bag if they already have a camera. And then after a little bit, I see that it moves from really, really close to where I'm at to another spot a little bit further away from that spot. Coincidentally, where this person that I kind of was like, maybe this person, I don't know, they had moved in that direction, so I slowly kind of start moving in that direction as well. And as I move in that direction, I'm kind of looking around as well, and then like completely shockingly to me, I see the bag. I see a guy that's kind of like moving it around, and again, this is a bag by like a small bag manufacturer. It's not like going to be in like millions of units or anything like that. So I know for a fact that this is my bag. I might be one of like a few people in all of Copenhagen that might have this bag. So chances, I mean, it's definitely my bag. So I see the bag, and I had not actually considered what I was going to do if I actually found it or anything. I'd never made it that far in my brain. But as you can see, I walk directly up to the people that had the bag and immediately just confronted them. Hey guys, so that's my bag. I promise.
It's not your bag?
It is my bag. There are 2 cameras in there and a lens.
From where?
From like 2 stations away from here. You found it inside of a bicycle. So you can see that the one guy like completely bails out. As soon as I come up to them, he kind of just steps back. The other guy starts kind of like arguing with me a little bit. And one of the things I'll also say is I'm actually not taking these and moving them or like editing them in any way, other than obviously I'm just choosing to blur the faces of the people there. So as I'm even talking to these guys, I'm like having to click record a few more times. So that's why if you watch these videos through, you'll see that it's not just like one direct video of the entire confrontation.
It's standard.
Okay. What kind of camera's in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasselblad.
Okay, what else? What model?
There's only a Hasselblad on this.
Yeah, what lens is on it?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't know about all this. Shoot.
Okay.
Shoot.
Yeah. No. Hey, wait. Before you do it, there's a 38mm f2.5 lens.
Okay.
It's mine.
I'm not.
It's mine. I promise.
Okay. But
Okay.
all that's in is what I find.
Okay.
So it's all there is.
Yeah. I'm missing the other camera. Okay. The other camera's probably in your backpack though, because I have it right here. I literally followed you. 4 feet away. Listen.
Okay.
It's gonna ping in your backpack.
Okay. That's
So can I get it out? Thank you. Now after that, I think that in kind of hindsight, one of the things that worked well is that as I went up to them with apparently a lot of confidence, I was also like confident without being overly confrontational in like a violent way in any way. Like wasn't yelling at them. I just kind of was like, hey, this is my bag. And I think the thing that really kind of like won over this whole next interaction was just the fact that it was so like I had caught them so off guard that without being threatening, that I think that's why they were defensive in like a on their heels kind of thing. And it never turned into anything more than a simple like argument about how I could get this bag back. So obviously the guy that took the bag starts kind of like arguing with me a little bit. And here's like the next clip in that sequence of me kind of trying to just like describe and convince everybody that I know exactly what's in the bag. I know exactly what's going on here. And I mean, you've been found out, my friend.
It's standard.
Okay. What kind of camera's in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasselblad.
Okay. What else? What model?
There's only a Hasselblad in this.
So I say, what model? And one of his friends starts laughing at him. And also you can see that like, I'm not like in it. I haven't made any like attempts to like take the bag or anything like that. And I'm still being very cognizant of what's around me. I don't want to be surrounded, anything like that.
There's only a Hasselblad in this.
Yeah. What lens is on it?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't know about all this. Shoot.
Okay.
Shoot.
Yeah. No. Hey, wait. Before.
So he goes to open the bag, and in my mind, I'm going like, he's going to try to like, see, like, this is my camera, this is my thing, and then he can say whatever he wants about it. But obviously, I want to be like, no, this is my bag. I know exactly what's in there. I will tell you exactly what's in there. So not that it's like a pop quiz of any kind, but this is kind of where I go in that direction.
Hey, wait. Before you do it, there's a 38mm f2.5 lens.
Okay.
It's mine.
I'm not.
It's mine, I promise.
Okay, but
Okay.
all that's in.
So he says, okay, backs up a couple steps, and I take that as my opportunity to grab the bag, and we'll see what goes from there.
Is what I find.
Okay.
So.
And also you can say, this is what I found. Like he says, this is just what I find. So he's obviously just like copping to the whole thing right off the bat there. So now I grab the bag, and the first thing I do, you'll see here, is that I unzip the bag and immediately just kind of take inventory of what's going on.
It's all there is.
Yeah.
And he says, it's all there is, as I'm like unzipping the bag. Clearly I'm going to know that's not all there is.
I'm missing the other camera.
Guy's laughing at him already again.
Okay. The other camera's probably in your backpack though, because I have it right here. I literally followed you.
I'm showing all his friends
4
too.
feet away. Listen.
Okay.
It's gonna ping in your backpack.
Okay. That's cool.
So can I get it out? Thank you.
All his friends. I still can't believe it worked out like this. All his friends are kind of laughing at him because I'm like, all right, cool. So you gave me like the Hasselblad back and the bag. But like the whole reason I was like the thing I was tracking on them was this camera specifically. And so I'm like, yeah, cool. But like, I know that we're right here, and I pull up the Find My thing where it says it's like 2 feet away. And I'm like, that's how I tracked you here, my guy. Like all his friends are kind of laughing at him, and he just like, I think he's just so on his heels that's where you can see he starts to take the backpack off. He obviously like shows me that it's in his backpack. He takes it off, but then he kind of gets a little bit back from that and kind of not goes on the offensive at all, but kind of goes like, this is his last play, right? So he's like, yeah, but, and I was like, dude, I will like, listen, like just get this over with. Like I'll go buy you like dinner at like the 7-Eleven here or something. And then one of his friends pipes up, and you can hear in the background, he says like, make him give me 100 or something. 100 kroners or Danish kroners. That's like the equivalent of like, I don't know, like $14 or something like that. And then so he immediately plays off that and goes like 200 kroner. And so at that point, I have a decision to make. All right, cool. Should I like continue to escalate the situation? Or should I like unjustly, but like whatever, just find a way to get 200 kroners, give this guy the equivalent of $28, and continue that, even though, again, it's an injustice. I shouldn't have to do this. But I think I was just so relieved and almost shocked that I'd gotten to this situation within like 2 minutes of having this thing, seeing the bag. And within 2 minutes, I have like almost all my stuff back, and I know exactly where all of it is. that when I did the calculations in my mind to go like, he's asking for like $28, $29 basically to get all my stuff back. I was just like, listen, all right, fine. Like, I would rather give you some food. I would rather do something. The man was clearly homeless. He had ended up telling me that he was homeless. And I legitimately have like empathy and sympathy for people in hard situations. It doesn't excuse the fact that he had stolen my bag at all, but I can understand that that's a hard place to be in, all those things. But at that point, I made the decision, all right, cool. We'll go get 200 kroners real quick. I'm going to keep you in sight. And I just went to an ATM where he was probably 10, 15 feet away. It was just like this weird, cordial, like odd, like Craigslist transaction at that point where like I went and was able to just take $28 out of my bank account. And I thought that was at least to pay, like such a small amount for me to pay to get myself through a situation without continuing to escalate it more. I know a lot of you are going to argue in the comments saying that wasn't a great idea. And especially in retrospect, not having to continue to, escalate a situation into something that could become more dangerous, more contentious, all that kind of stuff. Just seemed like an easy thing to do, especially for such a low amount of money to me relative to what I had lost. So all that to say, please be careful with your things. Obviously, I knew that I should not be putting things down. Complete accident and whatever on my part. It's something I never do. I've traveled literally to like every continent, brought cameras with me. None of this has ever happened. It was just a completely fluke thing to me. But the two coolest things were that I had these Ray-Bans where I was able to like record this whole thing. But I think buying some AirTags and something to get your camera or your valuables, I have them in every bag, but the fact that I was able to have this on the physical camera, that is the thing that really saved me there. Because if I would have had an AirTag in the bag, he would have had much more justification to not say that he had this in his bag when he obviously did. But since the AirTag was on the camera itself and he had that in a separate backpack, which was smart of him to at least separate the two things, I probably wouldn't have gotten this back. I probably would have ended up getting the other camera and things back, but I would have ended up losing out on what's this setup, like $7,000 worth of stuff right here. Ultimately, huge, definitely recommendation if you are a photographer is to buy a set of AirTags, stick them in bags. And if you're like me, this little plate here doubles as a tripod plate to all the Arca Swiss. Basically, most tripods just take this little setup here. So buy them. I'll put them in the description down below, the exact thing I have, as well as maybe some other options. But overall, be safe out there. Thanks for coming to my little story time, and subscribe if you haven't already and you want to know more about camera stuff like this. And if you want to see the photos I actually took on these things because I got them back, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one.